Apple is in the spotlight again. The FBI asked the company to help it recover data from the iPhone 5C it removed from the scene of the San Bernardino attack last December that killed 14 people and injured 22 others. But Apple has denied the request. Republican presidential frontrunner Donald Trump entered the debate and made a call to boycott all Apple products until such time as Apple gives cell phone info to authorities regarding radical Islamic terrorist couple from California. And U.S. National Security Agency whistleblower Edward Snowden responded by asking, "Can we boycott Trump instead?" The FBI wants Apple to help it bypass a system where the phone automatically erases its data after the incorrect password is entered more than 10 times. White House spokesman Josh Earnest says Apple should do it.
They are not asking Apple to redesign its product or to create a new backdoor to one of their products. They're simply asking for something that would have an impact on this one device.
But Apple says that would provide a backdoor to its products, which could jeopardize the privacy of millions of users if used with malicious intent. In a statement published on the Apple website, CEO Tim Cook warned of even further risks to privacy. The implications of the government's demands are chilling. The government could extend this breach of privacy and demand that Apple build surveillance software to intercept your messages, access your health records or financial data, track your location, or even access your phone's microphone or camera without your knowledge. Social networks such as Facebook and Twitter have been abuzz with support for Apple, and public statements from tech companies soon followed. Facebook says, "We condemn terrorism and have total solidarity with victims of terror. Those who seek to praise, promote, or plan terrorist attacks have no place on our services. However, we will continue to fight aggressively against requirements for companies to weaken the security of their systems. These demands would create a chilling precedent and obstruct companies' efforts to secure their products." Twitter CEO Jack Dorsey also tweeted his support for Apple. "We stand with Tim Cook and Apple and thank him for his leadership," while Google CEO Sundar Pichai discussed the topic in a flood on Twitter. "We build secure products to keep your information safe, and we give law enforcement access to data based on valid legal orders. But that's wholly different than requiring companies to enable hacking of customer devices and data. Could be a troubling precedent." Yet, Jamil Jaffer, who's a former counsel to the Assistant Attorney General for National Security, says the deadlock between the FBI and Apple is unsustainable.
And eventually, unfortunately in this country, we'll probably have another terrorist attack. When that happens, and if there had been encrypted data on that phone that could have stopped that attack, the American people are going to say, what happened? And they're going to go to Congress and say, we need a solution, and Congress is going to impose a solution that's going to be bad for technology, bad for privacy, and security will have already suffered. And so that's the worst outcome.
But the president and executive director of the Electronic Privacy Information Center, Mark Rottenberg, believes the FBI's request is part of a bigger agenda by the Bureau's director, James Comey, one that threatens the public's right to privacy.
And it's also important to understand that Mr. Comey, the FBI director, has been fighting this battle since before San Bernardino. In other words, he had been pushing Silicon Valley to make these changes in their devices even before this investigation arose. So I'm actually a little bit concerned. I think he's politicized this investigation really in a way that's not appropriate. I think this is a crime that does need to be solved. I do think they should get access to the evidence, but I don't think you should try to use this as part of a larger campaign to build in backdoors to all cell phones.
And Edward Snowden, who exposed the National Security Agency's surveillance on phone records, says the FBI is overstepping its boundaries. He says the Bureau already has numerous ways to access the data it needs to solve the case without needing any help from Apple. But the FBI says only Apple can access the information in the iPhone 5C of San Bernardino attacker Syed Rizwan Farook. But some people say the Bureau is trying to get Apple to do its work in order to set a precedent. The American Civil Liberties Union Christopher Soghoian has tweeted, "If the government hacks the iPhone themselves, they don't get the legal precedent they are so desperate to establish in this case." In an op-ed published in Business Insider, cybersecurity expert John McAfee says if the Bureau lacks a team of talented hackers, he would be more than happy to offer his own. So here is my offer to the FBI. I will, free of charge, decrypt the information on the San Bernardino phone with my team. We will primarily use social engineering, and it will take us 3 weeks. If you accept my offer, then you will not need to ask Apple to place a backdoor in its product, which will be the beginning of the end of America. Despite having assisted the FBI with previous cases, Tim Cook and his team at Apple seem determined to draw a line and not set a precedent in privacy law in both the US and overseas. Now, both parties are likely to engage in a long legal battle, one that may well affect the future of cybersecurity and privacy laws.